All right, let's talk some early morning Eagles. Appreciate all of you for waking up with us. This is Philadelphia Eagles Now. I'm Chase Senior coming at you from home because we have some more breaking news. According to Adam Schefter, Eagles giving all-pro right tackle Lane Johnson a one-year $33.445 million contract extension. That includes $30 million in guaranteed money. Now under contract is Lane Johnson through 2026. Hasn't surrendered a sack over the last two seasons, and as we know, played last year in the NFL playoffs with a torn adductor. This guy is a warrior. This guy is an Eagles legend, a franchise icon. Now he's here to stay through 2026. Before we get started, break this down. Take a look at some of the contract details because this is going to open up some money on the 2023 cap. Lane Johnson, one of the best right tackles, not just in the history of the Philadelphia Eagles, of all time. So type Lane Train down in the comment section right now, and this is why you subscribe. Early morning news breaks, we have you covered here on the show. Late night news breaks, we're here for the Go Birds family. Lock us in and subscribe. We're on the road now to 50,000 subscribers. So over the last couple of weeks throughout the NFL offseason, we had an idea that this Lane Johnson restructure was going to happen at some point just to clear up some money for 2023 and to also give him some guaranteed money down the road and keep him under team control if he wanted to play over the next couple of years, and Howie Roseman working his magic once again. My take on this, obviously a no-brainer. If Lane envisions himself playing at an elite level and wants to play, considering how long he's been in the league, some of the injuries too that he's suffered, lock this guy down. The Philadelphia Eagles love to build their organization in the trenches, offensive line, defensive line, and then go outward from there. And for Lane, has not surrendered or given up a sack over the last two seasons. He's the best right tackle in football. Him and Trent Williams of the 49ers may be the two best tackles in football, even though Trent Williams plays arguably a more important position at left tackle, protecting the blind side for a right-handed quarterback. And Lane Johnson, one of the best of all time, and he's coming off a 2022 season in which he was fabulous, superb, and dominant. Offensive snaps played, according to Pro Football Focus, 972. Pass block snaps, 551. Only had 6 penalties called against him, 0 sacks, 0 hits allowed, and only 9 total pressures. I've said this a lot about Lane Johnson. That's so impressive when you consider that Jalen Hurts is a mobile quarterback, and oftentimes when he gets flushed, he boots out to the right to the Lane Johnson side. So that goes to show you the dominance from Lane Johnson. Anytime he goes up against some of the top edge rushers in the NFL, he's able to hold down the fort. What he did against Nick Bosa, the Defensive Player of the Year, who had 18 and a half sacks in the NFC Championship game, was great. Bosa didn't have a sack, didn't have a quarterback pressure, didn't have a quarterback hit against Jalen Hurts. And what's also interesting here and pretty fascinating when you consider that the NFL oftentimes stands for not for long, is that this is an Eagles organization, and the fan base should be pumped up about this and really admire and appreciate this because honestly, this is so rare. The Eagles now have franchise icons who are still here, still playing at an elite level, who have been here for a really, really long time. Think about this. Brandon Graham was drafted in the 2010 draft class. Jason Kelce the year after that in the 2011 draft class. Fletcher Cox selected in 2012, and Lane Johnson in 2013. Now, all of these players here for a decade plus. When I talked to Jay Glazer from the Super Bowl in the lead up to the Eagles taking on the Kansas City Chiefs, I asked him because he's homies with Lane Johnson. They do some martial arts, MMA training in the offseason. A lot of offensive linemen do that because of all of the kind of hand movements that do mimic what an offensive lineman, and especially a right tackle, has to do. Got to be aggressive, got to be quick, got to be on the balls of your feet, but also really calculated with those hand movements. I had asked Jay Glazer, look, Lane Johnson has said himself, might only have a couple of years left. Is he going to retire anytime soon? And Jay Glazer at the time said, Lane Johnson is here to stay. He's the best right tackle. I think he's been rejuvenated to a certain degree. He's going to play for a couple of more seasons. And now we get that confirmation. Now stay tuned for this because Mike Garafolo, with some added context to the Lane Johnson contract here, because there are some financial details and wrinkles that we have to kind of iron out. So Garofalo, 1-year extension through 2026. Value of the deal, $33.445 million, $30 million guaranteed, with the source saying Johnson gets a pay bump in each of the next 3 years plus the added 2026 season. Lane Johnson was on the books for $47 million over the next 3 years. He gets 1 year and that 33 plus million added to that. So now he's under contract for 4 years, $80.75 million with 30 million of it guaranteed. Eliot Shorr-Parks, 94 WIP, making a good point that Lane Johnson had about $14 million left in guaranteed money on his contract. The new deal doubles the guaranteed money pretty much, and the Eagles could have financially moved on from Lane after 2023. This new deal pretty much means that they can't and won't because of that guaranteed cash. Lane was set to have about a $27 million cap hit in 2023. That is probably going to drop because Howie Roseman wants to clear some money for 2023. The Eagles currently in the neighborhood of about $13 million in cap space, but that's without the contracts for Marcus Mariota, Greedy Williams, and Nicholas Morrow, as well as Justin Evans on the books. But if you think about those 4 players, they're not going to take up that much cap space. So now, if I'm kind of doing my math correctly, I love money, even though I'm not great at math. The Eagles should be in the range somewhere in the neighborhood, in the realm of having about $18 to $20 million in cap space for this upcoming season. Now, the question becomes, where will that money be used? It's certainly an interesting question with the construction of this roster. Jalen Hurts' contract negotiations have begun, so he's going to get paid at some point. His play in the Super Bowl further solidified that he's going to be this franchise quarterback for Philadelphia for years to come. Down the road, have to start budgeting some money for a Devontae Smith contract. He's heading into year 3 because he's a first-round pick. You can exercise that 5th-year option. So heading into this year, should have 3 more years of team control. But after this year, probably going to want a contract extension at some point to give himself some of that financial security. This also clears some money up for the looming rookie salaries following the NFL draft. Philadelphia with picks in the first round at number 10 and at number 30. That draft slot at 10, that player will take up about $4 million on the cap. And of course, some remaining free agents available who now the Eagles have a little bit more money to budget for and pay some of those free agents. The crop of players, as we're deep into the second week of free agency, actually pretty solid. So now are the Eagles going to make a signing with a player out there who's still on the free agency market? That is also in play as well. So a Lane Johnson contract extension / restructure happening early on a Friday morning. If anything else happens today, we'll talk about it here on Eagles Now. Some big news yesterday that Ezekiel Elliott has Philadelphia on his list of teams that he'd like to play for alongside the Cincinnati Bengals and the New York Jets. We went live, broke it down on a video. Make sure you go back and watch that as well. I don't think it's going to happen, but the more I think about this, could Ezekiel Elliott have kind of a LeGarrette Blount end of his career? Not a feature back, but a guy who can serve a purpose as a short yardage back, utilized around the goal line, and be that physical type of back that LeGarrette Blount was in 2017. There is value with that type of player, especially if he's not getting paid all that much money. And I don't think, while Ezekiel Elliott is somewhat washed, right, as a feature back, he can be a backup on a roster like this. I don't envision it happening, but something to, of course, monitor here as we continue to move forward in NFL free agency. If you're still watching right now, it's early. You can see it in the eyes. Who the hell cares? Eagles breaking news happens. We talk about it. Give me a real one down in the comment section, and we'll catch you next time here on Eagles Now. I appreciate all of y'all for watching and waking up with us here on the show.